All right, adventurers, Allison here. Today we are summiting Mount Field in Yoho National Park. It's about 19 kilometers return distance and an elevation gain of 1,466 meters. I am hiking with Mike and our friend Robert. We met at the Field Visitors Center and we walked across the highway to the trailhead. This trail quickly connects with the Burgess Shale Trail. This is probably the most laid-back national park trail I have ever hiked. I totally understand it though. If I had to shepherd 1,000 tourists up to Burgess Shale fossil beds, I too would want a super easy trail. The one drawback though is we were in the trees the whole way. We broke out once and were able to soak up some views. Thankfully, we did get one good view of the summit and we could plan our route from here. We continued on up to the ridge. I punched through the snow and an opening in the trees just to try and get a glimpse of the mountains across the way. We continued hiking up the ridge and finally got above tree line. This is where we started to get some amazing views. To our left is the famous Burgess Shale fossil beds. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and it is strictly off limits unless you are with an official parks guide. It was now time to leave the official Burgess Shale Trail and start trudging on up the scree slope to the summit of Mount Field. There is no official trail, but we angled across to the ridge on the far right horizon. It was a fairly cold day, but this is a good thing because it kept the snow nice and hard, and this allowed it to hold our weight. The hardest part of this route is a rock band that we scrambled up. This section was short and sweet with some fantastic holds. I was pretty happy through here because it gave some interest to an otherwise, pretty straightforward descent. I have to say, by far, the best part of Mount Field are the absolutely incredible summit views. Holy! 360 degrees of absolute awesomeness. I've been up some of these mountains, including Emerald Peak and the President. Frankly, this view just makes me want to do more and more of these
Emerald
routes.
Lake, of course. Jeez. But that's Emerald Peak right there. That's Emerald Peak. Far above that. And then that's going towards Burgess Shale, Burgess Quarry, all that. That is the road up to Takaka Falls. Spiral tunnels. And the road to Alberta, Lake Louise. And back to the summit, Karen.
On the way back down, the sun finally popped out. This gave us some lovely light, but unfortunately it also softened up the snow. We were now plunging in and post-holing. What an absolute energy sapper. Once back on the Burgess Shale Trail, we did find the hike down through the switchbacks to be never ending. I did capture one good video, so enjoy. If you are looking to see some larches, I recommend you go somewhere else because this is pretty much it. However, I am so glad that I went in the fall because the foliage was absolutely gorgeous and brightened up this trail immensely. I sure hope you enjoyed this trip up to Mount Field. Please like and follow for more great summits. For the full trip report and all the gory details, please go to my website, AllisonDopf.com.